Hi, and welcome to the Gorilla Safety Fleet Management Portal training. I am going to go over everything on the website that we have to offer currently. If there is something on here that doesn't pertain to you or you're not subscribed to it currently, you can go ahead and skip that and fast forward that segment. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get started by clicking on Client Login. And again, this is GorillaSafety.com that you will need to be going to. So once you're on GorillaSafety.com, you click Client Login. And on here, you will type in your email address and password that has been registered to you. If you have forgotten your password, you can always click Forgot Password. Type in the email address, and we'll send you a reset password link to that email on file. Same thing goes for drivers. If they forget their password, you'll type in the email address that's registered to them, and we'll send them a password reset link. So on this screen, I already have my information pre-typed in. I'm going to go ahead and click Login. And here we are on the Gorilla Safety Fleet Management Portal dashboard. This is a test account that we have in our system. It's not a live account, but it does have data on here, so I can kind of show you what everything looks like. Again, if something doesn't pertain to you, please fast forward. So on this main dashboard, you're going to have your different tabs up here that you can click on. You have a menu bar right here, some other options. You have a snapshot of your fleet. It's going to say company summary with what's currently going on. It'll break down what hours of service your drivers are currently in, and if you use the repair and maintenance section and subscribe to it, you'll also see this information too. Scrolling down, we have a map that is powered by Google. It will pinpoint and show a pin on the map where your drivers are currently at in their vehicle if they are either on duty or driving. There are 3 different colors. If the pin is gray, like this one up here, that means that the driver is just on duty, they are not driving. If the pin is green, that means that they are driving with no violations. And if the pin is red, they are driving with some kind of violation. They didn't sign their logbook or they didn't do a pre-trip. If you do click on any of these, you can see the vehicle information as well too. The rest of the page on the dashboard is more for like notifications and alerts. On this alerts page, you're going to get notified if you have any documents that are about to expire. Documents that are going to expire, you'll get notified 30 days and 15 days out. If you are an admin in the system, if you are a fleet manager in the system and the admin didn't update those files yet, you'll get notified 7 days out if you are a fleet manager role. Down below that, you have driver status. Right here, this section is a little bit more involved. You'll be able to see drivers if they are either driving or on duty. You will not see anybody on this list if they are off duty. Here you'll be able to see the name, last known location, unit number, and it's going to break down how much time they have remaining. You'll see the status, if their engine is idle or not, and then the last time that this information was updated. The rest of the information down here, you'll be able to see daily logs, the most recently signed ones, any potential violations, and any recent accident reports. Scrolling up, the first thing we're going to take a look at is how to add a user in the system. So I'm going to click on users on the top. On here on the top right, you're going to have a section where it says Add New User. Below, you're going to have everybody else that you have added already. You'll be able to see what role they currently have, the information that you've put in, the email address that is registered to them, if they have an employee ID, and so on. If you need to edit any of this information, you can click on the pencil. If you need to deactivate the user from the system, you will click on the X button. Deactivating the user from the system will still keep them on the portal. They just will not be able to sign into the app. It will still keep their logs on the website for the 6 months. You're not actually deleting them. So that's why you do have the option to deactivate them if they do leave the company or something happens. We're going to go ahead and click on Add New User. This section's a little straightforward. You're going to go ahead and just enter in their contact information on the left. And then right here, you're going to select what role they belong to. There are 4 different roles in our system. We have Fleet Manager, Driver, Mechanic, and Admin. Fleet Manager has website access only, as well as Admin. Both of these roles cannot log into the app. The Driver and Mechanic can only log into the app, especially the Driver. They do not have access to the website. The Mechanic does have access to the app and the website. They can do both. If they need to manage work orders that are created, they have the option of either or. If you are a fleet manager in the system, you cannot be a driver. Same thing if you're a driver in the system. You cannot be a fleet manager or admin. Both accounts have to be separate. Admin role right here, the difference between admin and fleet manager. Fleet manager has all access to the website as far as adding, editing, and deleting any content. The admin role is just read only. They will not be able to add, edit, or delete. If you select the driver role right here, you will have some more options to fill out. You'll see that you have some more options to upload documents. If you click on any of these, you can browse your file explorer, pick a document for a medical card or drug test, put in an expiration date, and click Save. Again, any files that have an expiration date on them will notify you on the main page when they're about to expire. Having a driver role will allow the fleet manager to put in their employee ID and password. This is a secondary way of signing into the app. The primary way of signing into the app is by using the driver's email address. This can either be a personal email address, it can be an email address from the company, or if the driver doesn't have an email address, you can always make one for them. Whichever email address that you do put in here, and whenever you save their file down here in the system, when you save it, that driver will get an email, and he will need to check his email to create a password to use Gorilla's driver app. So having an employee ID in the system is nice. It's a secondary way of signing in so they don't have to keep up with typing in an email every single time. The employee ID can be a combination of numbers or letters. You can create a password for them, and they can use this again to sign in. Below that, you do have an option to add a couple of different permissions here for the driver. You have enable yard moves, enable personal conveyance, and then you can say all together if they are exempt from using ELD. The section up here on top, the drop-down menu, you can actually select and assign a vehicle to a driver if you already have it in the system. You can also keep this section blank. Keeping this blank will allow the driver to assign the vehicle to himself in the app. This section, if you have these checked, the driver will have the permission in app to click on duty and say that he's doing a yard move. If this is unchecked, he will not be able to see this option. Same thing for personal conveyance. These two sections, yard moves, the way that our app deals with it is if you say that you're on duty and you're in a yard and you don't want it to count as drive time, you'll say that you're doing a yard move and check it. And then it'll keep you in on-duty status as long as you don't go over 50 miles an hour. As long as the driver stays underneath that, he'll be good. If he does go over that 50, it will automatically switch him into driving. For personal conveyance, you will tap off-duty. There is a little checkbox that you check in the app that says personal use. That is used if the driver typically owns the vehicle or if he's taking the vehicle home, he's done for the day. You're telling the app that you're on your time so that as soon as you start driving, it won't switch you into driving status because you've told the app that you're using the vehicle for personal use. The other section down here is if you'd like to sort your driver through different departments. It's completely optional. You can keep it blank. If you'd like to start setting up departments for your fleet, you can do so by clicking on this Departments tab right here and start putting in what terminal, regions, and then you'll be able to select those on the bottom. Next thing that we're going to take a look at is the Vehicles tab. Vehicles tab page allows you to add vehicles, make changes to them, say if your vehicle's ELD or AOBRD or none. You can also add trailers on here as well too. On this page, you're going to have a list of all of your registered vehicles. On the bottom right, you're going to have a list of your trailers. On the left-hand side, you're going to have a section where you can view the most recently signed roadside inspections. And on the left-hand side, you will have a map. It's a mini map of the one on the front page. This is used for a breadcrumb trail. You can actually pick a vehicle, pick a date range, and you can see where that vehicle's been. And on any of these vehicles or trailers, if you click on the pencil next to it, you can go back and edit that vehicle's information. If you click the X button, you can delete the vehicle from the portal. We charge per vehicle in the system. You can have as many users as you want in the system. You can have as many fleet managers, drivers, but we do charge you per vehicle, so just do keep that in mind. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys how to add a new vehicle. Clicking Add New Vehicle, you can add the documents on the right-hand side. Left-hand side, you can pick a drop-down menu. Pick what type of vehicle. Required information to register a vehicle in the system, you have to have the unit ID, VIN number, year, make, and model, and next maintenance date. If you don't know your maintenance date, you can just put a date in here, and then you can fix it later. Scrolling down here, you will be able to pick what kind of device type the vehicle is going to be running. So here you will either select it's running ELD or AOBRD if you're setting up AOBRD before the mandate. The section that says iBeacon validation, you can keep this unchecked. It's a placeholder whenever we do decide to implement satellite in the future. The other sections down here you can keep blank, or you can again assign drivers to the vehicle you're adding. You can assign a mechanic to the vehicle, you can assign trailers, and then you can set up your departments. Once you're finished, you're going to click Save on the bottom, and then your vehicle is now registered. Next thing I'll go over quickly is just how to add a new trailer. It is the same setup. You'll go through, add in your information, and then you're going to click Save on the bottom. Next step that I'm going to go over is how to view logs, edit them, look at the history, and how to reassign and look at unidentified driving logs. And that's all in this log section right here. On this page, you'll be able to see unassigned drive time. You can click on either or of these and view those files, or those logs rather, that have been recorded that don't have a driver attached to it. And I'll explain that a little further in just a few moments. Scrolling down on the logs page, you're going to have each driver, right now it's through alphabetized, so you can click on this to filter it. You can filter vehicles, dates. I'm going to keep it the way it was because I like it like this. Right here in this column, you'll have information for the most recently signed log. So the most recently signed log for Dumbledore is Unit 30 on 10/18, and then so on. To view the log, make any changes, look at the history, look at daily documents, you're going to click on this tool icon right here. To only look at the most recently signed log, you can look at PDF, edit, history, or view documents. And these 4 links will take you just to the most recently signed log for 10/18. If you want to look at 10/18's log and all of the other previous logs, you will click on Logbook. And we're going to go ahead and click on that. Alright, so we are on this driver's logbook. If you want to switch to a different driver, you can click on the drop-down menu, pick a different driver, and you can also jump to a different date that was signed. And you'll click View. On the left-hand side, you're going to have a preview of that PDF log document with the header, driver's signature, and then the notes for each status that he was changing to. You'll also have the notes here. If you would like to look at the previously signed log, you'll just click on Previous, and it takes me to 10/17's log. If the driver does have any drive time on here that is recorded, the map on the right-hand side will reflect that and give you a breadcrumb trail of where they've been. So for 10/17, if I want to edit this log, you'll just click Edit right here. Editing log on the website is used in the situation where a driver signs his log on the app and he makes a mistake after the fact. He can no longer make any changes on the app. At that point, the fleet manager can make those changes on here. They can make changes on the header. And if you scroll down, you can also make changes to the status. So if you want to change this to on-duty time, you can also pick the date, the time range. You can change the location, and you can also add in notes. You can also delete rows. You can also add rows as well too. Each status that you add or edit, adding a note super beneficial because that is showing on the log, on the logbook. You'll make a note, maybe they forgot to go off duty or they forgot to punch out for lunch. You'll make your note for that particular status, and then below here for annotation, you'll write a reason on why you're changing the log. This reasoning right here will show up on the history portion of the website. If you do get an in-audit, DOT audit in-house, you'll be able to back up every different edit that has been made. Once you're done, you're going to click Save right here. When you make changes to the log and you save it, the driver does get a notification in app to sign off on those changes. Once he signs off, the app will update his current log of all the changes, and the website will reflect those changes as well too. So we're going to go back here to logbook. And any changes that were made, you'll be able to find that in the history tab right here. So if I wanted to look at the history for 10/18, I'll click on history. And right now, this is the only one that's been done for this particular log as the signed version. You'll be able to click on the PDF and see it. If I made any changes after this, you'll be able to see what Fleet Manager made the changes. You'll have the notes here for the annotation on why the log was changed. And then you'll be able to click on the PDF to see what changes were made. Next thing I'm going to go over is viewing documents. If you have the second tier package of the subscription, your drivers can take pictures of their daily documents, bills of lading, delivery receipts, and you'll be able to see that for 10/18. So if I click on view document, so you'll see here that this user doesn't have any documents uploaded for 10/17, but if I do click on here, you can see for 10/19 or 10/18. I'm not sure which one I have. There we go. You'll be able to see for 10/18 this user has an uploaded document on here for a weight ticket. You can click on this, view what he uploaded, download it, send it to your clients, and you'll have that immediately available after your driver saves it on his app. If you'd like to switch to another driver, you can do so from here too as well. Another way to get to daily documents, you can click on the menu on the top right, and you can click on daily documents. Daily documents from the top right link will give you all the documents. And then from here you can go and narrow it down to which driver and what day you'd like to look at. We're going to go back to the logs page on the top by clicking on logs. And the next thing I'd like to go over is unassigned drive time. So I'm going to go ahead and click on unassigned drive time right here. I'm going to go ahead and filter it to show the most recent. And I have unassigned, unidentified driver logs for vehicle 30, date 10/17. It'll show you the hours worked, distance, and what cycle roll. Unassigned drive time can occur if the driver doesn't pair their tablet or phone to the ELD hardware. The ELD hardware is still calculating and recording drive time even if the driver doesn't pair their tablet or phone to it. The next time the driver connects his phone or tablet to the ELD hardware, it's going to download that unidentified driver logs to the website for the Fleet Manager to assign it to a driver or a mechanic or anybody that was driving the vehicle at that time. So from here, if you click on the tool, and if you click edit, we can assign this drive time to somebody by scrolling down. Right here, if you click on the drop-down menu, you can click any of the drivers that you have in your system. So if you know that Willie Nelson was driving the vehicle between these times, you can click on him. Add in your notes, add in your reasoning on the bottom, and you click save. Willie Nelson will then get a notification on his app that he has time to sign off on that belongs to him. And once he accepts it, it's going to show up on his log and on the logs on the website. If in the situation that you have somebody helping you move the vehicle that's not the driver, or the mechanic is moving the vehicle and they're not signed into the app or they don't have a login, you can click unidentified driver. And you can add a note and say the mechanic was moving the vehicle at that time, and you click save. As long as you have this time accounted for and you have a reasoning for each one, you should be good. The next thing that we're going to go over is the accidents portal right here. This is in the third tier option of the subscription. Again, fast forward if this doesn't pertain to you. On here, the driver, if he does get in an accident, he can click accidents in the app, take pictures of the accident, get witness statements, audio recordings, take pictures of the police report. All of that data gets compiled here. You can look at the photos by clicking on any of these links. You can view the statements and download them. And you can also view the accident reports too. This information you can forward to your insurance agency to kind of fast forward and speed up the claim. Next section we're going to take a look at is repair and maintenance. This is in the third tier package, which will allow you to have mechanics in the system, manage work orders. It's a closed loop repair. So if I click on here for reported date and I pick the most recent date and I look at Unit 12. Unit 12 doesn't have a mechanic assigned to it. Some of them do. You can go through here, see the information. You can view the inspection report. So on here, on the inspection report, whenever they were doing their pre-trip, they signed off on it and said that the cab wipers were defective and need to get replaced. Anytime the driver marks something as defective in his app when he's doing his pre or post trip, it's going to automatically create a work order in the system for either the fleet manager or the mechanic to go through, add receipt information, add the status of the repairs, and kind of keep track of what's going on. So if I click right here and click on the pencil, I can go in and manage and actually pick, for awaiting parts, in progress, or done. It'll give you the information for the vehicle. You can view the inspection report again, or you can view the photos that were taken. You can add in cost details, schedule, the repair, due date, and you can also assign a mechanic here. Add in your notes and you can add receipt information. Once the repair is done and you click save, the driver that is currently assigned to vehicle 12 will get a notification that the repairs have been completed and he will need to sign off on them. The mechanic has access to this part of the website. He only has access to the repair and maintenance section if he logs in, and he'll be able to manage them on the website just like this, or he can go into the Gorilla Safety app, log in, and he will see something similar to this that's a little bit more touch friendly that he can manage the repairs through. Next thing we're going to take a look at is the inspections portion. On here you can filter by date. If I want to look at vehicle 30 for Albus, you can view that inspection report. Again, it'll look similar to this. This particular report doesn't have anything reported wrong on it, so there were no defects found on either the vehicle or on the trailer. On the right hand side, we do have a area for you to kind of tell if your drivers are pencil whipping their reports, if they're just clicking next on the inspection report and not actually taking the time to do their inspection. If it takes them less than 10 minutes or so, they're going to get a red dot. If they're kind of in the middle, they're going to get a yellow dot, and I believe I have one here. If they take enough time to complete their inspection, they're going to have a green dot. DOT doesn't see this. The driver doesn't see this. Only the fleet manager and admin will see this section right here. And this is more of a management tool for you guys to see how they're and how they're doing their inspections and making sure that they do them properly. And the inspections, the pre and post trip are part of the second tier subscription, and you'll be able to have access to that in the app. The next section I want to go over is the menu. So if you click on the top right on the hamburger menu, you can click on your account. Account, whoever is logged in currently, you can change your password, email information, company data. We'll show you your current subscription information. You can update the credit card on file for auto billing, and you can also update your address. And this will show up on the header, and this is what you have registered with DOT. Policies and procedures, you can enable and have your drivers sign off on them. We do have samples uploaded that will insert your company name. If you have any of these checked and you click submit, the first time your drivers log in, they will have a notification that they have forms to sign off on. The next section right here for documents. Documents, you will be able to upload any of these. This is for your company. So if you have something that you want to kind of keep in the cloud, if you want to upload any loss runs, corporate documents, you can add expiration dates on here too as well. And then when you're done, you're going to click finish. Next section is for daily documents. Again, you'll be able to see all of the driver's daily documents on here, and you can sort through them. Next thing is, if you do any kind of IFTA reporting, we do have some tools to help you out with it. So if I click on IFTA report, IFTA report will show you all of your truck fleet information by default. You can also pick a particular unit and click show. I'm going to keep it on all. On here, it's going to show you mileage for each state. It's going to total it for you on the bottom, and you can also download truck GPS history. If you click on this, it's going to download an Excel spreadsheet with the longitude, latitude, geocoded location, the road information, date, time, and it's going to go by unit ID number. And that's just a tool for you to help fill out your IFTA report. Next thing that we have to help out with IFTA, we have a fuel consumption report section. This is done manually by the driver. On here we have it done by vehicle number, what drivers have fueled up on these particular units, and then you can view the history. So if we want to look at the history for unit 30, you'll be able to see who fueled, the odometer reading, gallons, the location, and then you can also view the receipts. Right here on feedback, you can add any additional updates you'd like to see to the website, any questions or concerns. This gets sent directly to our development team. Down here you have the logout button. I believe the website will time out if it's been inactive for about 10 minutes. You'll just click on here and then you'll log in again. Other than that, that is about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email support@gorillasafety.com if you have any further questions about the website. Thank you and have a great day.